Coming to you all the way from sunshiny, COVID-free Florida. It's That Thirsty Show. Come get you
Hey,
some. Hey,
hey.
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 What's
What do we
happening?
say? Salud,
Mm-hmm.
Salute.
gentlemen and ladies.
Good to see you guys. Always good to see you guys, especially those of us who are late. Not complaining. Not complaining.
Another busy hump day. I was late for everybody that's watching. That's my bad. I was late tonight. I had the
Yeah.
boys waiting,
Making
and
coffee for the
but I didn't
boss
break
guy.
any glasses, so
Didn't break
that's
any
good.
glasses. Well, because it would have been a coffee mug. What's funny is off the last podcast or one of the previous podcasts. I since we're so new to the show or new to the podcasting world, and been trying to figure it out and what to do and how to do it. The funny part is I go and of course, like when I'm trying to get opinions of other people's thoughts and whether or not basically am I wasting my time or not, which is not the case. I totally enjoy doing this. Um, and I'm glad that I was invited. E, thank you. D, glad to be here. Um, but uh, but my wife says, or I go to my wife one evening. I was like, "Hey, did you happen to see this thing that E posted?" And she's like, "Yeah, I saw it." And I was like, "Well, what'd you think?" I mean, don't keep me in fucking suspense here. And I'm really like, what did you think? I mean, obviously, being somebody that's been around me for many years and knows my personality and being involved in playing music, playing out in front of people, I'm very critical of myself and that kind of thing. So and we get to the point where I'm like, so seriously, what did you think? She's like, you cuss a lot. And I was like, I cuss a lot. I was like, okay, well, I know that. You know that. We've been married forever. So, you know, uh that cussing is something that I just do naturally. It is second nature to me. It's not at all like I don't think about it one bit.
Right.
Like when I drop the F word, there's not a single thought that runs in my head going, "You're about to drop this F word."
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
it
it
just
just
flows.
flows.
Yeah,
And so I was like, that's interesting that she was thinking this because I'm like, well, what about the actual, like, what we were talking about, which may have been nothing. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, the part that she saw was probably from like an excerpt or a outtake or something. And she definitely, just that's what got her. You cuss a lot. I was like, great.
yeah.
Great, I cuss a lot. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Well, so I don't know. How should I take that? Does that mean that I should quit doing this or do I just cuss a lot? But the thought of people cussing, like I was like I wanted to explain like that cussing is like a form of expression.
Hmm.
Right.
And I started thinking about it too, like, but I remember kind of like when I was younger, like it was always brought up as being like you're uneducated if you cuss a lot because you
Right.
can't
Right.
think of bigger words to say
Hmm.
like it and I guess, because I can replace a lot of those kind of words with fuck.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? You can use it in so many different ways. It's a very versatile word.
it is. It is.
Very versatile word. I mean, you can use it, I mean, as many different ways as you want, and you can express like you can use it in a playful, funny tone. Fuck. Be like, fuck.
Right.
And you can be like, fuck. Like get all fucking mad. You're like,
Yeah,
ah!
but where did like cussing start, yo?
Dude,
How
I've
did
been
it even
cussing.
start? Did the
I've been cussing.
caveman say? Did the caveman when he was walking, he hit stubbed his toe and said "fuck," and that became the
He's like, "Arr."
yeah.
Why you always trying to know the origin of shit, dude?
Because y'all
Why
need to
can't we
know
just
shit.
get into? I
I know
mean,
things. I drink and I know things.
I definitely know that I've been cussing since I was probably about maybe 6 or 7. Like I remember saying like I remember like a specific moment and using the F word.
Really?
And
Right.
I'm assuming I got it from my dad because I don't think my mom. I mean, my mom probably had maybe not necessarily the cleanest mouth, but she didn't cuss so much. But my dad definitely was probably a dude that would cuss. Although I don't really hear him cuss a lot. I definitely have conversations with anybody these days, and they've got to be like, "Dude, you cuss like all the time."
Right.
But I think, to me, cussing is almost like I don't know. There's a time and place for it. I use it a lot too. Like when I'm around you guys, more so than if I'm like at work. Right? It's almost if I think about it, it's almost like how I use slang and when I choose not to use slang. Right? When I'm cutting up with you guys, shit comes out, and I like Scuba said, there's not even a thought about saying fuck, saying shit, or
Right.
whatever. But in the setting where it's more formal, if you're at somewhere with family, work, what have you, it's almost like that filter kicks in, and it doesn't come out as much. Not to say that if I didn't stub my toe, it wouldn't come out. Like even if I'm someone fuck. But I find that there's a parallel between like the street talk slang that I use versus formal talk, and also cussing is the same thing. Like that filter just kind of weeds them both out.
Yeah.
It is interesting though. That sentiment that Scuba mentioned about when I was growing up, I either read it or saw it in a movie somewhere. It was a quote that was like something along the lines of like, cussing is the uneducated man's way of expressing himself when they
Right.
like their backs against a wall or something. Almost like they just have nowhere else to go. They can't express themselves intelligently, so they just resort to cuss words.
Right.
It made sense, but I don't know, man. I'm not thinking about all that when I'm cussing because again, I'm not even thinking. It's just natural.
Yeah.
It could
Exactly.
be a word like fuck could be a verb. It could be an adjective. Like you could
Right.
use it so
Right.
many ways. You can describe things with it. It works.
Right. I
I think
think maybe back in the day it was like that. You know what I'm saying? Like you could only make a cuss back in the day.
Uh-huh.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like women weren't. If you cuss and you had to wash your mouth out with soap, you got a dirty mouth, you a whore, and all the other shit. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
if a female cussed back in the day, it was taboo type shit.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's like it's been adopted. It's in music. It's everywhere. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
kind of like sex, right? Like
yeah,
sex was
yeah.
always super like,
I'm sure
whoa, we
even
keep this shit on the low.
the
Mm-hmm.
the highest businessman cusses. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
fuck,
Oh yeah.
shit,
Yeah.
goddamn, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm sure
Fuck
that comes
shit,
out there.
goddamn. The funny part is those that who get so wrapped up in when you bring God into cussing. To me, I think is funny
Yeah,
because you know they're like, "What? Don't use God's name in vain." I'm like, I'm not really using God
Mm-hmm.
as
right.
I'm not using His name in vain.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like it's like saying I don't know anything else. It's just you're saying it. You're just saying it. It's
Right.
not like I'm really like shaking my fist at God and going, "God damn you!"
Right.
You know,
Right.
Yeah, you're
like
not saying you
this
saying
is not
goddamn it.
Herculean
No, kill it,
Greek,
kill it.
you know,
Goddamn it.
mythology here. I'm just going, God damn it.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
I want
Yeah, it's
when
a
I'm
difference.
thinking if I have to break the word down, God damn it, is God's pissed. And I
Uh-huh.
want somebody to feel the fucking wrath of God.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I say got.
That's what it's about, right there.
Oh,
GOT.
you see? Do you? God damn it!
I mean, you hear someone go, "Gosh darn it!" You're like, dude, kick
that's
this
not the
guy in
same
the
effect.
fucking nuts. You know, like
You're
square
not
in the
mad. You're not
fucking
mad
nuts.
enough if you say that. You're not angry
You
yet.
say
Gosh
"gosh
darn it."
darn it" one more time, you're offending me. Damn it! I'm gonna fuck you up, man, if you fucking say that one more time. Like, and see, like, look at the passion and the delivery.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly. You
Yeah.
could just
That's
feel it.
it. That's
Yeah.
what's so
Yeah.
good about cussing.
Yeah.
Is it's so emotional and
It
raw.
is.
And
I mean,
it's like,
even in music, like if you heard a rap song, like a rap you know what I mean, Nas or Jay-Z, and they replace fuck with something else, you be like, man, you whack as
Fudge.
Yeah.
you
Fudge.
trash, yo.
Gosh darn it. Shoot them fools.
I mean, yeah, shoot that bitch at that point.
Right, you can't even say bitch.
Yeah, no.
You have
No,
to
that
say,
ain't
shoot
cool.
that girl.
Shoot that
girl.
chicken head.
Hey, smoke that girl. You about to get fucked up.
It's
You
funny
know, like-
because I've encountered people who will they've corrected me a few times, you know, whether it's on the golf course or somewhere else or not. Do you remember Steve Rocca in VA? We used to play with this guy called Steve Rocca, Scoob, and whenever you shanked a shot or you were in the trees or
I'm
in
sure
the
he's
woods
gonna
somewhere.
Appreciate that if he sees this.
Yeah, shout out to Steve Rocca. He would say, I'd say, "Oh man, I lost it. Where am I?" He was like, "Oh, I think you went in the GD," and I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, I think your ball's in the goddamn over there on the right side." And I was like, "Oh shit!" So I remember that, and I remember I used it. I just kept it because it was funny to me. I'm like, whoever went in the left or whatever, I'm like, "Yeah, I think you're in the goddamn over there, way on the left."
Wait, did
And
you
it
say
just
that to him?
Yeah, I started to just use it whenever I played golf. I don't know, I thought it was funny. So I just, and again, not thinking like you said about like the God or somebody's God. It just rolled off. So it just sounded right. And then I played with somebody and they actually corrected me. I said, "Oh, you just rolled into the goddamn over there. We'll find it though." And as we're getting close, this guy goes, "Hey," he's like, "I don't know you, but do you mind not saying that? You could say GD or something?" And that's all I needed to hear. Like, again, I didn't know this guy, but clearly he was clean cut. He, you know, maybe was religious. And so me saying that offended him. And I thought to myself, maybe I'll mention like,
I'm in the middle. I could handle that.
no, I was gonna say, hey, listen, when I say that, I'm not talking about whoever you believe in as God. I'm just saying it because it, you know, it's a funny phrase to me. But I respected, you know, and I didn't even say GD. I was just like, "Oh, you're in the woods" or something. From there on out, it was. But my point of the whole story is like, just take another word, say motherfucker. I don't know who invented that, but when I say that or use it, I'm not thinking of a guy who fucks mothers. You see what I'm saying? It's not literal. When you say it, you're just saying it. So I don't know. You can intertwine other words like things that apparently nowadays really offend certain people as like from a sexual orientation, right? You can't say, "Oh, that's," you know, we used to say, and I hope I don't offend anybody, but we used to use a lot, "Hey, that's gay," growing up. Now you can't say that because now that you're giving a connotation to something that's stupid or boring or lame to an actual group of people. And I get it. I get why it's offensive, but as growing up, we never thought of that. We weren't thinking about gay people. It was just something you said, right? So
I think that's interesting that you bring that up because like it's funny when people get offended by that thing, like certain things being said, and it's kind of like, you know, hey, I don't like you saying, you know, I don't like you saying, "God damn it," could you just use GD? And I almost think like I would be like, "Oh, I'm sorry."
Like, fuck.
I know, like I kind of would be like,
shit.
Oh,
fudge.
You know, like, I'm sorry that you're
word.
offended. I'm sorry you're offended. You know, it's not
But
like
I don't give
fucking.
a fuck.
Yeah, kind of a little bit, dude. I don't want to seem totally insensitive, but at the same time, it's like, dude, seriously, like I'm not trying to really like give God the middle finger here. You know what I mean? Like I'm just you know, venting, whatever it may be. That's all it is. But when you say like when you're saying like, yeah, when you say, you know, like when we were growing up, like you would say, at least in as slang, we would say that's gay. You know, like, dude, you know, you did this or whatever. Like, I'll give you a great example. Like this, you know, I used to be a skateboarder, and so we would, you know, somebody would do a trick, and they would be like, do this trick, and be like, nah, dude, that's gay. And it wasn't like that's gay, like a man and a man, or a woman and a woman,
right? It's just
like it wasn't like, dude,
right.
we're doing some weird sexual trick here.
just like
It
that shit
was,
was gay.
and it's
Yeah.
funny because again, the communities in which gay people are involved in would go, well, yeah, well, I don't like being thought of as being stupid
Mhm.
or that's dumb because I'm gay, and it's like, dude, you're gay because you get down with the same sex,
Mhm.
not because you're stupid. I
Right.
don't think you're stupid because you get down with another dude or another female if
Uh-huh.
you're of the same sex, right? Like that's I don't know. It gets kind of weird at that point. It's like, dude, I, I don't even know what to fucking say here.
Yeah.
Like, go fuck yourself.
Some people just
I mean,
look
dude,
into
remember when
things
like
too far.
fag was a word?
Yep.
You guys remember? Like, I
Oh
don't
yeah,
know.
yeah. Eddie Murphy used that joint all the time. Yeah,
Oh yeah, and I think Eddie Murphy got a little bit of shit for that,
yeah,
if
he
I
did.
remember correctly.
Yeah, he did.
Wow.
Almost like a full circle Dave Chappelle,
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
right? How
yeah,
weird. How weird.
It
yeah.
just
I mean,
thinks
it's in songs, dude, and it's funny. You watch movies and different things like or hear music. Like I remember just hearing on like a radio station Tom Petty, whitest white bread fucking rock
Mm-hmm.
singer ever, dude. I mean, fucking great musician, by the way.
Mhm.
Anybody should definitely know Tom Petty. But he had a song where he was referencing "Last Dance with Mary Jane," so he's obviously we're referring to weed. Maybe it's not even a reference to weed, and it was just one of those things, right?
Mhm.
Well, when he says there's a line in the song where he goes, "Well, let's get to the point. Let's roll another joint." And the edit for it would be, "Let's get to the point. Let's roll another noige."
What?
Literally, a
Really?
fucking noige.
What the hell is a noise?
Here you go. I'm gonna give you a great. Here we go. You ready?
Is
Yo,
it
they
just going
reversed
joints?
that joint,
Oh,
yo.
it's spelled
They
backwards.
reversed
Okay.
it.
Hold
They
on.
reversed
Let
it.
me get my face on. Let's get to the point. We're gonna roll another noise and play the radio
They played it
loud.
backwards, yo.
Yeah, like they literally like.
That
I
makes
mean,
no sense.
it's funny. It's funny though. Like,
Yeah,
I
it
don't
is.
know.
What? So somebody had to approve that and
Shout out
go.
Tom Petty. Rest in peace, brother.
They're like, I got it. So in order to not offend anyone or give out the wrong message, we're just
Right.
gonna.
We're gonna reverse it. Right.
Yeah, and somebody was like,
Yeah,
brilliant.
nobody knows what the
That's
fucking
great.
noise is.
Yeah, that's
Nobody knows what a fucking noise is.
what's it. They know now. Hey, so this is what I'm wondering right now, just because the topic's up, is who's the first person? And this is not recorded anywhere. Probably they don't have records on this, but like I'm pretty sure the back in the day, as we covered, we used to say it was nothing for anybody to say, "Hey, that's gay," right? Everybody used it back in our time. It wasn't, nobody would get offended this easily like they do nowadays, on and on. But somebody had to start that trend. Somebody at one point had to make a decision and say, "Hey, gay means this group of people. I
Right.
think that's lame and dumb. So I'm going to term all of that negative into just using the word gay." Somebody had to make that decision. Now, the rest of us who use it because we heard friends and it was just a normal thing, we weren't thinking about the gay community. We were just using the word without thinking about the meaning behind it. But somebody, whoever came up with it, that person had to associate something negative, lame, stupid, whatever into gay, right? It couldn't have just manifested. Like it didn't just happen. Somebody had to put that together and start a trend, right?
Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah,
guess
I
it's
don't
just
know.
like
I mean,
any other any other words. Because I
like
mean, like
being like, where the fuck did
me
ants
and you,
come from?
like one day we just, I think you said it first,
Mhm.
and then we just kind of just ran with it. You was like a bitch.
Oh, uh-huh.
You know what I'm
It's just-
saying? Like,
yeah.
like we didn't hear it anywhere. It was just like, stop acting like a bitch. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but
It was something, yeah.
I mean, you don't take offense to that. You know what
Right,
I'm saying? Like, you
right.
be like, yo, stop acting you like a bitch. This
Right.
as a bitch or whatever. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Nobody takes offense to that. Like, yo, you calling me? No, we're not calling you a bitch. It's just a word.
Yeah.
Like
Did
we
you-
just put some words together, and it's just, you know what I mean? It's just like lame or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys ever use like where you would where you would say something to somebody, like probably most likely one of your boys, because you probably didn't roll around to just random people and say stuff like this, but you would say like somebody would be like, hey, you know, do you know where this is? Be like, yeah, it's right over there, bitch.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you would just say bitch for no reason.
Right.
It wasn't like I don't really know why we would say it, but like, bitch, it's over there. Or, you know, it's over there, bitch.
Exactly.
You know,
It was
but it wasn't like being used as like,
Right.
I don't think you're a girl or
Big.
a
We don't
female
think you're
dog
big, you know
or
what
a
I'm saying?
girl of any sort.
Right.
It was just, you know, again,
Yeah.
it's kind of one of those. It's
I
words.
think
They're just
we should
words,
start
man.
using Hasselhoff like a bitch.
Hasselhoff.
Man, you act like a Hasselhoff.
Dude, I'm telling you, like we had this conversation
the Knight Rider,
recently.
yo.
We had this conversation recently on a job, and we were like, "Yeah,
You
remember when we used
Hasselhoff.
to be like, say this and be like, bitch?" It was
Right.
like, yeah, I do kind of remember like just going through like a little bit of a phase where you would kind of do that, but again, it was never thought of as being
Anything
just.
derogatory.
I don't think that. Yeah,
Mhm.
like it
You
wasn't.
know what I mean?
It was slang for sure. Like it was just
Right.
slang, being like brah or brother or what. I mean,
Right.
whatever. I don't know. Just updated versions of that shit. You know.
Right.
Well, see, this is like because my brain just acts. It goes immediately to this to trying to like I don't know, tie it into like a current situation. So say somebody decided to invent a new slang or a new insult, a new way to
Yeah,
call something lame,
ridiculous.
stupid, a new way to call something lame or stupid. They just say, hey, we're going to start using Spanish. So they'd be like, oh man, that's so Spanish. You're so Spanish.
Right.
I think after a while, like Spanish people would take offense to it and just be like,
Right.
yo, why are you using that to point to something stupid?
Right.
They're like, oh, it's just a slang. We don't mean it. We're just saying the word. So I'm trying to put myself in the place of the gay community. Like, so maybe that if I was gay, maybe I would take offense. Because after a while, if everybody started calling something stupid, hey, that's so Spanish, then I'd be like, yo, I don't know, pump your brakes, you know?
Right. Right.
So I don't know.
So what about if I went to Scuba, I was like, Scuba, you so black.
Mhm.
Oh, blacker than darker the berry, the sweeter the
You know what I'm
juice.
saying? Like when you take offense to it, I'll be like, yo, you so black. Or if I went to like
Well,
the white
any
people, like,
white
you so
person
black.
today would be like, "Fuck, that's like a super compliment, man.
Yeah.
I think he really thinks I'm
You
cool."
know what I'm saying? Like, I mean,
But as long and that's a good point. But like what I mean is if somebody started to go around and say if something was dumb or lame or stupid,
right.
they'd go, hey man, that's so black. After a
Right.
while, a black person would be like, yo, chill with that. Why is that? Why does that have to be black? Because it's stupid?
Right.
What do you mean by that? You know what I mean?
Right.
So it doesn't affect us because we're not gay, but I'm trying to assimilate that. And maybe that's why they feel like, hey, don't use it because that is offensive if you happen to be gay. See, this might never air because we're
This
offending
is
the gay
perfect to air.
community, we're
That is
offending
definitely
the
gotta
white
air.
community. Like it's crazy, man.
You
Not
know,
intentional, everybody. We love y'all.
We're not
we love
offending
everybody.
anybody. We just talking like just trying to figure
Hey,
everything out.
here's what
You know
we're
what I'm
doing.
saying?
We're
Like,
probably
why?
talking like the rest of them, honestly.
We're saying what a lot of people think but don't say. Maybe that's it.
Yeah,
They say it too. They just don't say it outside their house.
Well, if I ask you, D, right now, point blank, do you think that it should still be okay for today's kids to be able to say, "Hey, that's gay," if they find something that's dumb or stupid?
Yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, if you identify yourself as a gay person
Mhm.
instead of a person, you're a person like everybody else, whether you want to be a man or a woman or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like you still a person.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, what's the difference? Like if you associate yourself with a word, then you have a problem.
That's a good point.
To me,
Called
you have a problem.
identification.
That's a really
You know
good
what I'm
point.
saying? You
Identity
definitely have a
issue.
problem. You have a
Mhm.
complex problem. You have a whatever. You in your feelings
Identity issue. That's
about
what
a
that
word.
is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If I say stop acting like a bitch,
Mm-hmm.
that's not calling you a bitch.
Oh,
Right.
that's fucked up.
You know what I'm saying? If I say that shit was gay, I'm not saying that you're gay. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
it's not.
You're
I'm
not thinking when you say it, you're not thinking, "Hey, you must have sex with the same sex."
Right,
It's not that
right.
at all. Yeah.
No, it's not that at all.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? It's not that. So everybody need to just calm down, pump your brakes.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you that sensitive, then you just that sensitive. You that that group that's gonna be sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all just want attention. You want attention. If it's a gay, if it's a female, you know what I mean, or
Yeah,
whatever.
we really need to reinvent the world for the sensitive people.
Yo, you just sensitive.
No, dude, because
If I call you sensitive, you're gonna be mad about that. I'll
you
call
would
you
be mad
sensitive.
about that. I'm not sensitive.
You know what I'm saying?
What?
The sensitive group. Oh, now you talk about us. You know what I mean?
Oh, wait a minute.
Come on, cuz.
Wait, what?
It's a word.
Why I gotta be sensitive?
Right.
Why I gotta be
Right.
sensitive?
Right.
Mhm.
I mean,
You're
it's
sensitive
too
because you act like a fucking bitch.
much. and you're gay as a bitch.
And I don't mean a bitch, like I mean like the
And you
bitch is
gay as a
being
bitch.
used as you're acting like a wuss.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't think
everybody need to
females are
pump their
wusses.
brakes, yo.
I think there's some females that can kick my ass, probably, most likely.
Mhm.
Probably my wife.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
If I let her. Let's be real.
It's just, she probably would.
Wait a
yo.
minute, you getting that
She
right
would.
move,
She'd
bro.
kick you in the
We
nuts
switching
like a bitch. You down for
Change
the
the
count,
subject real
dog.
quick.
Kick you in the nuts.
She'll go Jackie Chan on your ass.
Jackie, always okay.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
but
that's my take, yo. It's words.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sticks and stones break my
Wait a
bones,
minute,
but
that
words
sounds-
have never
that-
hurt me. You know what I'm saying?
It's ridiculous. That only makes too much sense. They're just words, absolutely.
words, yo.
one of the simple, dude. And you learn that at such a young age. Sticks and stones may break your bones, but words will never hurt you.
Never.
Where is that ever
Amen.
taught today?
Everybody says that, but nobody believes it.
Everybody that's
They used to
40 and
believe it.
above says
You know what I'm
that.
saying?
They're the only people that know that
Mhm.
particular, Anybody
But
else outside of that
is
never
it-
probably even heard that.
Is it a case where, so growing up in New York, right? I've been called the N-word. I have friends use it all the time that they weren't necessarily black. They were, Puerto Rican, Dominicans, but that was just the culture, right? So whether I was hanging out in Queens or I had family in Corona, being in the Bronx, or even when I was upstate, it didn't matter. If the group of friends that I was with, they would use it all the time. And I remember at an early age, I think I mentioned this to you, Scoop, I would always switch it. Back in the day when Jay-Z was at his height, when he had come out and he was everywhere, I was hanging out with my boys in New York and they would use it all the time. They'd call me and I'd respond and I'd always say Jigga. I never used it with the N. I used it with the J. And it was smooth enough that where, it was never really noticed, right? But I was never comfortable using it. My question is, you still have today in age, you touched on it a second ago, you still have African Americans or black people, whatever, however you want to refer to the race, who get offended if they hear somebody using the N-word, right?
Right.
So if somebody gets offended and they check that person and say, hey, if you could just stop using it, right? Because it carries something that I'm not really with. It's not something I'm feeling right now.
Right.
If you say the word spick for Hispanics, then we feel a certain type of way about it. We're like, hey, could you stop using that? Right. So why is it okay for blacks and Hispanics to check people and say, stop using a certain word because it bothers us? But if somebody uses the word gay and some gay person steps up and says, hey, why are you using that to denote something that's stupid or lame? Then we call them sensitive. You see what I'm saying? I'm trying to see where.
But I mean, if you look it up in a dictionary, in the Webster dictionary, you look up gay, it means happy.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's different. You know what I mean? It's like using the N-word is history.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not like we was all, everybody was equal and we was like, oh yeah, you the N-word. You know what I'm saying? It's not like that. Like back in the day, the N-word meant you was getting whipped or you was a slave or you this and you that. I don't see them oppressed.
Right.
They're not oppressed. You know what I'm saying? They're not oppressed. You know what I mean? You call somebody you go to a Hispanic, you be like, oh, this and this. That's offensive. You know what I mean? To I don't know the history, but that's offensive.
But it's meant as an insult from the beginning, right?
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, you can like we can just throw out a word, and somebody
Dog
will
shit.
say it's offensive.
Dog shit.
Right? Dog shit.
Dog
It's,
shit out there.
it's offensive.
The dogs will get offended.
Right?
Fucking dogs.
You know what I mean?
I got a fucking dog.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, cock flavored soup mix. Who doesn't want that?
Yeah,
I
because
mean, nobody wants cock flavored soup mix.
uh-huh.
Nope.
They're not gonna want wiener butter
I mean,
either.
the person that fucking came up with that package has got to get fired.
Yeah, that's they're in the wrong business.
That's funny.
I mean, I get cock. I get, granted,
Do you?
chicken, cock? I mean,
Pause.
yes,
Do you?
You pause.
Do you?
Do you really get caught?
God damn it! God damn it! Did I just set myself up?
I get cock every night.
Dude, fuck yourselves. D, do not encourage this shit, man. Because
That shit
you
was
laughing,
funny as shit.
because you don't ever
ran
laugh
right
at
into that
anything.
shit, yeah.
And so when you start laughing, somebody knows something's good, and this is gonna end up on the internet, and then it's gonna be really
This
bad.
definitely
for guys
going on
like
the internet.
This shit is gonna be on the internet.
I gotta-
Don't do it. I'm
I
gonna
don't
do
like
it.
this.
I gotta
don't
be
like
honest,
this
man.
one
I don't
bit.
know if this shit like we
It
either
may,
gonna
yeah,
get.
this whole episode may not go up. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I'm
it may
saying.
go private or something.